Oh, do not adjust your video screens. Do not adjust your phones. Yes, your boy and the ladies of the New Blurred Order is coming in hot on CP time to commemorate the new month of September. Hallelujah. What's going on, y'all? Hey, sorry, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, we late, my bad. But we still, and we just want to holler at y'all and say what's going on. And I hope everything's going well with you out there in the Blurred verse. Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning in, please make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that share button and pull on up. Tell your friend. We're going to talk about a lot of things going on today. Some of the things that we will mention briefly, at least in terms of headlines. Of course, you all know Wheel of Time is now in season 2. Is it still trash? I don't know. We'll see. And also, Invasion's starting to try to get better, but still a hard fail for me. Yes, his favorite show, Ragnarok, is back. And I know she want to talk about it. No, she is. Look how happy. Look at how excited she is to talk about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, she's so haterish. Anyway, yeah, that's going on right now. In addition to that, of course, for those of y'all that didn't know, we lost Arlene Sorkin, who, even though she doesn't have the melanin, she still, at the very minimum, was a good representative of Harley Quinzel. Top Boys season 3 is out right now, and I love that show. Shine, yes, bro. This, that, and all that, the other. And we are joined live today by your boy, the real Vince Taylor. I am here reporting live from the front lines, popular man himself, and we are joined with no other than the one and only Nolly. We got Tiffy Starchild into his house. Yeah. We've got Yaz the librarian in the house. Yeah. And we are here to talk blurred stuff. Let's go ahead and kick it off, baby. I just did something.
I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10P Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old game. Ain't shit changed except 9 got a name. Got it out the mud but we got no stains. Cold ass pistol with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga stay clean so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. There's a lot of stuff going on in the mainstream world. There's a lot of stuff going on outside, but I can't start nothing before I find out how the Beyonce concert was on the weekend last week, since couldn't nobody else go other than one star child who had front row seats invited by Beyonce Carter herself. Yeah. Nah, what's
Yes,
going
that's
on?
true.
Nah. For those of y'all who don't know, if you're not in on the know, you need to follow Tiffy Starchild as well as all of us. You know, Yaz the model, you see the handle, Nolly Soft Glam Games. All right. Tiffy Starchild did post some stuff, some shenanigans with regard to the Beyonce concert. So before we get into what we noticed this week on Ahsoka, before we get into some hot topics that we just want to discuss, I just want to hear about this experience because I understand it's like an out of body one. Is that correct, Tiffy?
It is transcendent. It is transformational. Like to not be very dramatic about it. That it's an amazing concert. She is so incredible. You don't have to be a Beyonce fan to acknowledge that there is something about this show and this tour that is culture shifting. And so to experience that in person and just like feel the energy, it is very much like a great big party. It is super great. Like, yeah, it's just so much fun. So yeah. It was an amazing.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, Tiffy, you're saying that at the Beyonce concert, whether you're a Beyonce fan or not, it still permeates the interest. Like, so a guy like me who don't got no Beyonce knowledge at all, I'm gonna be a bit like, ow.
Yeah, I think you would, because first of all, it's just like a party atmosphere, and because like you know that so she had released this statement saying, "Oh, I would love for the love that we have for each other to reflect. So wear chrome." And the rumor is because she got wind that people were trying to organize a wear yellow and black thing for her birthday. Which stop, don't be gross, because I hate yellow and black. I'm so sorry.
Wait a minute.
It is not a color pairing that pleases me. It just is not. As it relates to the X-Men only, in that very tiny little category, and bumblebees. But in life, this right here, all this pastel around me, and you put me in fucking yellow. Anyway.
Come on,
I
man.
hate it. So the joke is that she released this statement to stop people from wearing yellow and black and wear chrome instead. Who knows if that's true, but it's very, very funny. So everyone's wearing chrome, and the atmosphere is very like if you've seen the Barbie movie, is very like hi Barbie, because everyone's just like complimenting each other's outfits, even people that aren't wearing the chrome. But like it's just such an amazing atmosphere. It's such a party. And even the transitions between, which I think she was super clever about the transitions, because not only does it give you a little bit of the break, because you're up and you're moving throughout the entire concert. Like you can't just sit that one out. You can't. It's like participate.
Tiffy, can I interrupt for a second?
Please.
What Beyonce song got you moving in the concert? Did you start off at the height, or did you?
I come in high. First of all, I went with my mommy, and like so. Yes, my mom is just so funny because she's down for the cause. So when we parked to some next to like some really nice people who were like, "You guys want some shots?" And my mom was like, "You know what? Yeah," because she's so not that person. She's so not that person. But so we're taking shots. They're like, "You want another shot? You want a seltzer?" Like we were getting lit in the parking lot.
Hold the fuck up! Are you telling me that Mommy Star Child was getting lit at the tailgate for the Beyonce concert?
We took exactly one shot, but for her that is a lot.
Yo, Mommy Star Child was having Sunday communion in the parking lot for Beyonce.
She was. She was. Last week, exactly, September 2nd, 2023.
Mark it down. Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupt every now and then just because I want to.
Oh, please interrupt.
So please continue. So after the tailgate, you go in, you get your seats, and then what happens? She just flies. She floats in from the sky.
Immediately because DJ Khaled was on, and so like the hype is like already up there as soon as we walk in, and like I get to my seat, like my butt hits the plastic, and I pop right back up, and I'm I no breaks. He was what's my favorite word? Bitch. Everyone was screaming bitch because everyone knows you're supposed to scream bitch, and then he stops the music. He was another one. He wanted us to say another one, but it's DJ Khaled. We don't want to say another one during that song. We want to say, like, why are you doing this? So anyway, then we went to the merchandise line, but I wasn't really feeling the merch.
Really?
I had gotten my fan from a lady in the parking lot the day before, because the day before I did the hosting. So right. Yeah. So I already came ready with a fan. So, and it was better than the fans I felt that they had at the merch station. So yeah, I was happy to support a Black business in the parking lot because it was some Black women.
Oh yeah,
that part.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So, and that fan was a game changer. I am a matter of fact, because I don't have no pants on. I'm so sorry. I'll grab the fan.
What? Hey, wait a minute. No pants. All right.
Listen, she's at home. Okay, on the chat. Okay,
her pants on.
We almost got a
y'all
full
put pants on for the show.
Yo, that's the fan. Hold up, right? Pull up, Shatana. I see you. God.
Fan. I took this fan to Disneyland yesterday, and this keeps you cool. You can use it to block the sun, just like to be coy. Like there's so many reasons like a fan.
Yo, am I tripping? But do y'all see her wielding it like a weapon already? Like, you know what I'm saying? She's doing all the Kill Bill shit with it. Yo, that's like a ceiling church fan. Like that shit's huge. It's like a.
And I would absolutely take this to church. and just
Oh man, the grandma's gonna be jealous. They're gonna be like, "Where'd you get that fan?"
The Beyonce concert.
Clip, bang. I love it, yo. That could goddamn cool the entire choir right there. That shit right there, just one person.
Incredible. And it made a difference during the concert because it's hot, but like just when you can fan the entire row and you're everybody's hero. Like I kept everyone cool. Guys, like
Okay. All right. So now I gotta find out. I know I was bullshitting earlier. All right, the secret's out. I fucks with Beyonce. All right, sorry. Especially when she came out so hardcore at her Super Bowl performance and let everybody know, oh yeah, by the way, I'm black as fuck. Just in case you didn't know. And
right.
I've been on board even since well before that, obviously. But I'm gonna list some songs, and I want you to tell me if she performed these songs.
Okay, I'll do my best to try to remember.
These are amongst my favorites.
Okay.
Drunk in Love.
Yes.
Drunk in Love.
Yes.
Did she do anything special? Did she do anything special on that?
She looked so like she was doing all kinds of things, and it was just a vibe, and we were all like screaming from the audience. Yes.
Okay. Did she perform? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, good. Did she do any Destiny's Child songs?
Ooh. No, not that I can recall. Because I think that we all would have been like, oh, what? And then looking for them to come out for somewhere. And there was, I do not remember that moment. So no.
Okay. Did she allow Blue to perform on her own?
Yes. And we all knew when she's coming out because everyone knows like when that part's coming. And it really is just like, you're so proud of her. I don't know that little girl, but collectively as the internet, that's our niece. And just to see her performing and just like thriving, that moment is just as cool as it is on the internet. And it's like, wow, this is happening in real life. So
wow. Okay, yeah, because I see it on the line and I'm like, was that specific to one city or is that like happening at every show? Because
every show since she debuted it, and I thought it was gonna be temporary too.
Let me ask y'all this, and Nolly, I'm interested in your opinion, especially as a parent. Do you think that Blue went to Beyonce, her mom, and was like, "Mom, I want to be in the show"? Because what I'm getting when I see Blue, I like this, but I'm also showing you what I memorized from you dragging me to all your rehearsals. like I know this shit involuntarily. Like I may as well perform it. Or what do you think? Are we bordering on child labor here, or do you think that that Blue is happily following in mommy's footsteps?
You see Blue's face? Okay, that baby, she doing the damn thing. Okay, I love watching the videos of her performing. It's just so freaking cool. I'm pretty sure Beyonce was like, "Hey, Blue, do you want to take part of my show?" Yes, that's it. Like my mom is Beyonce. You think I'm gonna turn this down?
Yeah.
My debut stage.
Oh, hold on, Dolly.
I think I don't know. Yas can go if she has something to say.
No. Go ahead, Tiffy. I don't think Yas will say anything.
No, I wasn't.
But if you saw, what was it, Homecoming?
Yes.
I think Blue loves the stage. Blue's been wanting to perform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm like, what videos were you watching of Blue? Maybe the older one.
No, okay.
Started because she's been. If you watch the progression, she's been feeling herself more and more. She's gotten more. She's gotten more confident and all of that.
Okay. I was gonna say. I was just bullshitting around. It doesn't look like she's being held hostage when she looks like she's enjoying herself. You know what I'm saying?
Be careful what you say about Blue Ivy on the internet.
Yeah, I do have to be careful. Just look, these is bad jokes.
We will fight.
Nevertheless, but yeah, hold on. I gotta circle back. Nolly, how did Beyonce say what she said to her daughters?
She said, "Blue baby, you want to be your mama's show." That's how it sounded like in my head. Don't mess with me.
Oh my! You know what she sound like? You sound like you've been watching too much Fighting Temptations right there. Like,
Temptations. Not Cuba Good, no, that ass. Yo, man, it is really nice to see Blue come
That
into
was
her
good.
own.
That was good.
And I mean, I'm gonna keep it real, like, especially because she's look, beautiful is the whole entire Carter family. I could say that. But damn, them kids got Jay-Z in them, boy. Like, there's almost no denying. Like, there's no test needed because, like, they got all
that
his
baby
faith,
Pappy.
and that's a good thing, you know, because that's a $1 billion case. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep it there. Now, last question. Does Beyonce do anything at the show that you cannot appreciate it unless you're physically at the show? Like, even if they tape the whole thing, you can't get the same experience from watching it on, say, an HBO special that you could watching it from the stands. I stopped her. Did I stop Tiffy for the first time? Yo.
Let me see. I think there's probably not one moment, but just the energy of being there. And like, and I'm not, I was streaming the other night and said this on my channel. I am not a cry from music sort of person, but there were a couple times where it got a little bit close and a little bit like emotional, like just the urge of freedom of expression and just really, I don't know. It makes you want to examine your life and release things, embrace better things. At least that's how it pertained to my journey. And that's just what the energy of the moment was. I don't know how that's going to come through in a film special or when she releases the visuals. But I know that based on her other work, especially like Black is King and Homecoming, I think that she's going to get really close to figuring that out and giving us a great production, whatever it is. But I feel like the in-person energy is what will be missing as opposed to one specific moment where you're like, man, you have to see this thing.
Yeah. Because I keep going back to, like, you know, some of her more, like, you know, iconic moments, the Terrence Howard dance, like I said, the Super Bowl stuff. That I mean, all right. Look, as a man, I'm sorry. You know, that meant something to me. It was a moment. You know what I'm saying? It was incredible to see her in her element. But yeah, it's fascinating to wonder because, like, I wonder, like, if I see that on TV, like her falling from the sky, it's real different if I see her like floating over my head type thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just really curious about that. So, y'all have any favorite Beyonce songs? Are you a Beyonce fan? Yes. Not really. Hey, don't lie. It's okay. You don't have to be. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
I
really
like Drunken Love, but I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I don't really. I'm not
really
gonna
big
lie. I don't
Beyonce
really
thing.
listen to
All right,
too
that's
much.
cool. That's cool.
No.
Nolly, you a big Beyonce person? No, yeah, a little big.
Look, when Renaissance dropped, I'm not saying that I listened to it all day, every day on repeat for like a month. I'm just saying that if you played a snippet, I could finish the song. Okay.
All right.
I
Well,
was about that.
To close this little topic out, I'll say this: I'm loving where Beyonce is going, and I am not in the business of advising Beyonce. I can't tell a billionaire nothing. Come on, give me a break. But I will say this: if there's one place I would like to see her go, it's recapturing the vibe of these eras. One thing Beyonce did so wonderfully is when she did, even though the movie didn't do that well, the Lion King soundtrack brought alive the sounds of Africa. I love when she actually tapped into her. She had a little rap side. I think she explored. Everybody didn't love it, but if she goes into like a little bit more alternative, maybe some roaring 20s, maybe gives us a little bit of swing, and like just shows us how to class up some genres that we may have forfeited to other, you know, cultures. I think that she could have even more of an impact than she already has. Makes sense? Am I saying anything that sounds about right, Tiffy, or am I over? I didn't even notice that. Yo, hold on. Let me go ahead and put this comment up on the screen.
Notice?
Look at. Okay, we got twin space buns in the building.
My bad. Oh shit! Hold up, that's Tiffy's thing. Hold up.
Don't you dare leave him
Oh shoot! Hold on, now that's not the
Why
right one.
did
All
you
right,
do
all right.
that?
This one, I don't know.
Yeah,
I pushed the
love
button.
when
We're like
Okay.
we're like
All
yin
right,
and
wait a minute.
yang.
I pushed
I'm
the
the
button.
see-through. I'm the see-through white part.
But yeah, does that check, Tiffy? Does that make sense to you? Like for Beyonce to be the arbiter of all genres, not to forfeit any genre to any other culture?
I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I would never want to put Beyonce in a box.
True. 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 True.
I
True.
feel like she doesn't have any obligation to explore any genres that don't speak to her specifically. So
True.
while
True.
it
True.
would be cool, I don't expect really anything, especially I think since Renaissance was so unexpected. Like suddenly it's this very like queer album, very different from any sound she's ever had. And it took me a while to warm up to it. Actually, I didn't listen to half of the album at all before the concert. And
Oh, wow.
one, I didn't get around to it because it was not a sound that I was accustomed to. I appreciated it, but just didn't need to finish it, didn't prioritize that. And then when I was making a plan to go to the concert, it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to finish it because I would like to experience these songs in person first. Like, how cool would that moment be? Type deal. So
Gotcha.
I'm happy that I did that because now when I listen to the album, like my core memories of these songs took place at this concert. So that's super cool. But like, just to say that, I think that wherever she goes in her journey, I'm a follow. That just gives some other genres that's super cool too. So
I love it. I love it. Yo, well, listen, I'm glad that you got to experience that, and we live vicariously through you. And I want to take back something I said earlier. I said she's got Beyonce, Jay-Z genes, but evidently, man, there's some Beyonce in there too. I maybe just didn't see it whoops, my bad. So when that's going on. But it's interesting that one time for our comment section, real quick, shout out to all that are watching on Comedy Hub. Comedy Hub, we love ya, and keep tuning on in and make sure y'all follow on the other sites as well. What's up, Larry Knight? What's up, Brittany? And I love that comment that they are matching hairs. And I got a quick question for you. And I don't mean to put you on the spot here, Tiffy. However, this style that you have on that you're rocking right now, we call it space buns, right? Now, where did that style? Where did you is that like a style that we adopted, or like is this an original style? I'm just curious about it because it's so fresh.
I don't know. I've been wearing space buns for just years. It's just been a way that I've styled my hair. And I was like, Sailor Moon wears her hair the same way every day, like
Okay,
for
okay,
millennia. So will I. And that was my thoughts behind that. Yeah.
okay.
And sometimes I've had braids and sometimes I've had like twisties, and you can go pretty far back on my Instagram or Facebook if I'm friends with folks there. And I've just had them for years. Even when I go to other hairstyles, I always come back to space buns.
Okay. The reason I asked is because when I see your hairstyle, I automatically think of one character. Automatically. Do y'all know who that character is? I think you know who I'm talking about, yes. It's
Princess
from
Leia.
Princess Leia.
That
Now,
doesn't make sense to me.
I know the reason it doesn't make as much sense to you,
Hers are down.
I think, is because you're not a Star Wars fan.
No, because I mean, I have internet access. I know who Princess Leia is.
You said I don't live under a rock, Vince.
Right. And unless she's ever had them up here, like hers are literally it's a completely different hairstyle.
Don't get me wrong. Oh, I'm sorry.
Does she ever have them up high?
Okay, so I don't mean to say that your style is Princess Leia's style. What I say is when I see it, that's where my mind as a Star Wars fan goes because first of all, they're called space buns. All right, so I'm thinking space.
Right.
Space. Second of all, Princess Leia, even though these aren't as she had, I think they were French braids over her ears, right? Yeah. So they were more like headphones, like beat by Dre. But if you slightly adjust them to 3 to 10 and 2, then you could get a similar
completely different hairstyle.
It is. You're right. She's completely right. It's definitely Sailor Moon vibes, but I see what you're talking about, Vince.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say you bit. I'm not trying to say it is. for me, who didn't follow Sailor Moon, unfortunately, and I'm deprived, I know, I don't have that reference point.
Sorry that your childhood was so sad.
But it is interesting, and it's funny because Star Wars is still a thing right now. Now I know we don't all watch it, and we won't talk about this for too long. But there was an episode of Ahsoka this week, and yes, if I'm not mistaken, you peeped something special that happened on this episode. If I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
Oh yeah, we got to see Padawan and Master reunited.
So what think you about that? Is that a big deal, or is it just them doing the fan service again? Are we getting a little overwhelmed with just fan service? Yeah, let's keep it real.
I don't know. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping, only because like in previous episodes, they kind of connected, you know what I'm saying? So I was kind of hoping that was gonna happen. But yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here, I guess. I was excited to see him. He didn't look like shit either, like compared to the other Force ghosts that we've seen, like Luke. You could definitely tell it was like super CGI. He didn't look that bad. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I screamed. I got up off the couch, was like, "Fuck yeah, Anakin's back!" But on that note, yeah.
Yeah. Did you happen to get a glance at it, Nolly? Okay, it's okay. You don't have to answer. It's okay. We normally talk about these things in advance. I didn't mean to spring it on you at the last second, yo.
We meant to watch it, and then we tried last night, and for some reason the smart TV was like, Disney Plus is not working. And I was like, for what I paid for you, you better be working, but okay. So I didn't got to watch it, but I will watch it later.
I'm sorry.
Here's the thing.
Okay. I have Twitter, so.
Well, yeah. Oh, shit. Damn, I didn't even realize that we did. We're back to spoiling, baby. That's what we do best around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, listen, it's not a Friday show, it's a Wednesday show. So if you haven't seen it by now, it's because you don't care that much. You know what I'm saying? It's just lit. Let's just keep it real. But yeah, man, I was geeked up about it, but I gotta say, man, I'm a little I feel like it's I don't want Star Wars to feel like all you have to do to keep your fans engaged is give us somebody that we know already. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep the story fresh. We don't want it to just be all nostalgia all the time. Now, having said that, I was pleased to see the lightsaber battles this time around. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous that Ahsoka is already starting to fall into some of the same traps that some of the other shows may have fallen into. Yaz, are you loving it or are we liking it?
I mean, I'm like in the middle right now, only because it's dragging ass to get to where we need to get to. But I mean, it's for, I guess, reasons. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm down for the ride. It's Ahsoka. I don't give a fuck. I'll watch that shit all day. But yeah. But I mean, I'm just waiting to see, obviously, when Grand Thrawn comes back. So I don't know. I'm waiting for the Admiral for him to pop up, because I kind of want to see him live action, see what's gonna partake. But you already know what he's gonna be, the last, you know what I'm saying, cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's I'm excited to see where we leave off, I guess.
Okay. All right. Real quick shout out, Brittany. Thanks for the heads up. I will check out Sailor Moon. Look, I do, it's a whole thing. But we'll check that out as well. And yeah, you're right, Daniel. It is a lot of fan service. I'm interested in seeing like Callus. I'm interested in seeing if they delve into my man's story. Oh man, Kanan's story at all.
Yeah.
But let's keep it real. We're all just waiting for Ezra to pop up. We're just waiting for Ezra to pop up. We're waiting for Thrawn to pop up. And once that happens, I think we'll be on to the real Ahsoka show. You know what I'm saying? So pull up with the shit, man. Come on out, man. I was impressed with the wielding this week, yes. With little Miss Sabine finally getting back in the if I have one prediction, is that she's actually going to start remembering all of the training, because one of the things that she said that we discussed last week is that she's not really Jediing like she's not really fighting like she was in the series. And she said in the series, she said, look, I forgot all that shit. I stopped the training, but now she had actually had a Jedi fight. A lightsaber fight. Do you think she held it down?
I mean she held it down because that bitch is crazy. Shin is her name. Oh my god! Every time I look at her, I'm like, what is wrong with this one? But
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
I,
yes,
yeah. I don't
yes.
know what is. I don't know what's wrong with her character. But like I don't know. She irks me, that the Shin girl, but the
Yeah,
apprentice. But I think more or less though the master I Balin, he kind of like gave us a little insight though, as to why she's holding back so much, like Sabine is, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's kind of clear, you know what I'm saying, what the reason is. So I don't know. I think once she sees Ezra, I think all that shit is just gonna like be muscle memory, and she's just gonna, you know what I'm saying, like she's gonna go back to being a badass, and she's gonna use her Mandalorian and Jedi skills to like, kill that bitch, with the crazy eyes. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Anyway, the show is showing promise, and I'm still interested every single week. So hopefully it continues to build and gets better. I like the world building, and I will say Dave Filoni, the writer, even though he still feels like an industry guy, um, I gotta give him props, man. He's keeping the script simple enough to understand, and it's not too complex. And he's also included. It does feel like obviously Rebel season 4, but it's still delivering on all. Just give us a little bit more Ahsoka personality, please. Give her a little bit more of a personality. She's so bland in this that it almost takes away from the enjoyment. Almost, not completely,
You
but
want to hear one thing real quick? Austin
go ahead, go ahead.
Austin said when she was fighting Balon, he goes, I don't know, that bitch is scary. I wouldn't be fighting her, dog.
Yo, she's a nut. She's like a villain with a
Dude,
damn. Like this
he's
bitch
just
was
so
crazy.
serious. He's like, fuck no, hell no, I wouldn't. He's like, do you see how she just be like, he's like, fuck no, dog, she's scary as fuck. He's like, she just straight. I was dying, dude. I was fucking dying.
I just really hope that we get more of the Dathomir story with the witches.
Yes.
I really want to see Ventress. If they give us a live action Ventress, I swear to God, I will jump over my house because I
I'm not
want a live action Ventress so bad. I think she was shit on so much in the stories.
I'm not gonna
Because like
lie.
her shit's more compelling than everybody. Her and Count Dooku's shit. You know what I'm saying? But
You know what would be
I don't
really cool though if this like opened the gate for them to like give us more background into Dathomir. You know what I'm saying?
I would like that. I'm interested
Like
in
just because
Dathomir.
we don't have that much background. We have books about it, but we don't have movies about it. So you know what I'm saying? I think that would be really, really fucking cool for them to expound on that. And this is kind of
Yeah.
like the, our little eggshells that like gives us, the start of the gate of it. I think that'd be really cool.
True, true. To address Daniel real quick, yeah, she has been bland since she got a little older. You're right. She hasn't been snips ever since she left the Jedi Council. I mean, she left the Jedi. You're right, but at the same time, like she was wise. She was majestic. Like now, she just feels boring. I'm sorry, and I like Rosario Dawson. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see if this goes any further, man. Hopefully it does. But either way, Star Wars, man, I just hope that the franchise keeps doing what it's doing. Uh, in terms of franchises, though, I was curious about something. I want to ask y'all a quick hypothetical question, if it's okay. If we could just step back a second. We just want to step back one quick second, all right? Step away from Star Wars, step away from everything we know. And let's just pretend, if it's okay with y'all, that this is a different time, okay? I want to call this is going to be my version of the Steph Ray question of the day. Remember the Steph Ray question of the day is the questions. So here's my question for you all today. And there's no limit to how many answers you can give. As many as you like. So, hypothetical. Here's the pitch. It's the year 2025. SAG-AFTRA, WGA, they finally met with Bob Iger and all of the Illuminati, and they have formulated a plan to move forward where everybody's happy. The writers are paid, the actors are paid, everybody. The guy who holds the boom, he's gotten a raise. Everybody's getting a raise. But it all hinges on us. Now, Hollywood has pegged New Blurred Order in association with Black Nerd Problems, in association with House of Starchild, and has tasked us with the responsibility of producing the first few movies for the industry now that we are back on track. But there's one caveat. The first few movies cannot be originals. The first few movies have to be remakes or reboots. So, given this power, I ask you, we'll go around the horn. What movies would you remake or reboot if you were given this opportunity? Now, I already have a couple. I'm going to throw them out there. And some of these are going to show my age, but fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell y'all anyway. One of the very first things I'm going to want to reboot is a movie. Oh, man, this is going to be so out of left field. Y'all probably never heard of this. But there was a movie in my childhood called Flight of the Navigator. Have you ever heard of this movie? No? Okay. All right. Moving right along.
I think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
All right. Flight of the Navigator was this movie where this kid. Oh, Tiffy,
you have to sell us on the movie. You have to tell us about it.
Let's give you the pitch. Let's give you the pitch. All right. Thank you. That's a good idea. So, the Flight of the Navigator, for those who are unaware, originally was a movie where a kid who gets bullied, all right, somehow finds himself meeting an alien spaceship that takes him all across the world, wherever he wants, whenever he wants. He can even pick at his little friends. But when this movie first came out, we're talking, I mean, not friends, but his enemies. I'm sorry. The little enemies that are picking at him. You know what I'm saying? And he can like make, you know, because it can turn invisible and everything. So here's the cool part. You can go anywhere, do anything. You can even go intergalactically if you want to. And the ship has a personality. He imprints with the little boy. Here's what I would do different. The original was a young, non-melanated lad. I would like for the reboot to not only be a young black boy, but I want him to be LaMilton, who smoked with cigarettes. The little dude from the Boondocks, the little badass little kid. All right. I'm just bullshit. I would want to see like a little black boy or even a black girl prize that role and be an updated version of Flight of the Navigator. Now, I will say that since nobody other than me is familiar with this project, I don't expect you to greenlight it, but that would be one of my first picks. I have more, but I'm interested to hear if y'all have any more. Before you are, because I think y'all may have been still thinking, I would like to also express one of our other members who was with us earlier, Stephanie, who expressed that for her reboot, she wouldn't mind seeing Meteor Man from Robert Townsend's original mind brought back to life. I would say if I was Stephanie, I would not only want to bring Meteor Man back to life, but I would change that storyline completely. I would not have him battling his own neighborhood. I didn't like that, to be honest. You know, the fact that the villains I'm not always a big fan of when the villains are the members of your own community, even though that does unfortunately end up being the case. I would like to see Meteor Man take on the U.S. government. I want to see Meteor Man take on, you know, an entire, you know, like civilization of miscreants, and to be a little bit more powerful and obviously less corny and give us, you know, a lot more fun and stuff like that. Those are some picks I thought were decent. But say y'all, Nolly, Tiffy, Yaz, would you like to reboot, remake anything that you remember from back in your childhood? Don't speak all at once.
I'll go. Okay. I have two films that I would do. I would do Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, because I loved Fern Gully. It was one of my favorite films. Robin Williams was Batty, and it would be sad not to have him be able to reprise that role, but it is what it is. I do think that it would make a beautiful live action movie, but one of those where, and if you're not familiar with Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, beautiful film, and in it is actually a lesson about like rainforest conservation. The villain of the film is literally a cloud of pollution called Texas, and that was Tim Curry that did that role, and he has this amazing song Toxic Love, which I just love so much. I know everyone says that Avatar is the live action version of Fern Gully, and there's similarities in that story. I literally just want Fern Gully that exact story. I want the toxic cloud to be the villain. I want the fairies. Yes, Fern Gully. I love it so much. They have the most magical moment, like in these waters that she takes him to, because Zach is a human that gets shrunk down to fairy size because the young fairy Krista is learning how to use her magic. She accidentally shrinks him, and he learns this lesson about all of the damage that he is inflicting to the land around him as someone that's a part of this logging company that's tearing down the rainforest. So it just, the fairies involved, the magic involved, like that is a live action movie I would love to see, but the CGI can't be like corny, it can't be cheesy, it has to look really good. It has to look like the 2003 Peter Pan with Jeremy Sumpter, because that looks so real. It looks so amazing. That's what I would need from Fern Gully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the humorous part about this being Avatar. So Fern Gully was one of the first movies that I remember. Like there's this specific animation style. Like it's Disney-esque, but not Disney, right? You know what I'm saying? And like everybody, I remember not watching it, but seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to check that out again, man. That's a good one. Did you say you had another one?
I do. My other favorite movie is A Little Princess, and that's the one with Liesl. I forget her last name. But A Little Princess, and it was an early 90s film, and it's based off the novel, which I love the novel as well, and I used to love reading that as a kid. But it's the story of Sarah Crew, who goes to this boarding school in New York. Her father leaves her there, and he's very wealthy, so her life there is very charmed, things like that. But he ultimately dies in the war while he's away, and he dies apparently very penniless. And so Miss Minchin, who runs the school for girls, becomes really, really cruel to Sarah. And like, yeah, that's the one.
God, that's a classic for me. Like that's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh.
Is
wow, okay.
So magical because she has this beautiful imagination, and she's just the sweetest girl, and she's just trying to get through. She ends up having to sleep in the attic with Becky, the little black girl.
Yep, the little black girl.
Yeah, there's a little black girl named Becky, and
hold on. We're not going to pretend like there's 0 black women that are named Becky.
At that time.
I was gonna say, in like early like World War II time, not really.
Oh, damn. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you said the 90s.
The movie was made in the 90s.
Okay, my bad. All right.
But it takes place like during the war.
Yes.
But like and ultimately what happens is so magical. It turns out her papa is not dead, but he had amnesia, and ultimately is found by her neighbor. And it's so satisfying because Miss Minchin has the police to try to take her away, and she runs over to the neighbor's house for like safety, ends up recognizing her father, and can jolts him so much that his memory does return, and he saves her right in time. Turns out that he does have his whole fortune, and it's like the happiest of happy endings from like this childhood movie.
And he adopts Becky.
Oh, and he adopts Becky at the end. He like takes Sarah back away. He adopts Becky, and Miss Minchin ass is poor as fuck, and now she gotta go clean the chimneys. Grab ass bitch, because she was so fucking mean to Sarah.
Yo,
Sarah ain't deserve that. And Becky,
I love you. I swear to God.
Because these are the things that I felt as a child, and I could not say them. Miss Minchin was a raggedy ass bitch.
Oh my God! So
now I gotta check this out. I missed out on this. Yes, you're familiar with this.
Oh man, I've seen that movie so many times. It's a great fucking movie. Like it really is. It's a little slow paced, Vince. I'm just gonna let you know because of the time era that it takes place and everything. But it's a beautiful fucking story about like Tiffy's right. This little girl lost everything, and she still kept her imagination, her hope alive, and that's basically and ultimately what kept her alive in the most horrible situation of her entire life. And she not only kept her imagination alive, she helped Becky, you know what I'm saying? Like, because Becky, that was her life, you know what I'm saying? Like, Becky didn't know no better, and she helped Becky see that there's all this amazing things in life. And it's a beautiful fucking story about, you know, this little girl finding her dad that's right across the street from her, and she literally, like Tiffy said, had to shake his memory into him as she's being dragged away from the police. And he, like, it's a beautiful story. You gotta check it out. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, you know, but like, yeah, this is a fucking classic. So I'm Tiffy. Damn, I love you. This is a great one. I love you. That's a good one.
And that's another one where the remake has to be just like super dope. It has to be as magical. The lighting was incredible.
With India and everything.
Because there are scenes that take place in India. And you know what? We gotta let go of some things. We gotta let go of Becky being the only little black girl and she's the servant. We gotta let go that they're in India, so there's definitely colonialism involved, and we don't like that. Like, why is this white man in India? We gotta just let these things go. I mean, enjoy the movie. We can't overthink it too much.
Do we? But hold on, Tiffy. Let me reiterate. The question is, you're given the green light. You can change this movie. So if you
don't need to change shit.
Yeah, you don't need to change it. Just remake that shit. It's so good. Yes, Tiffy. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, just remake that shit so it's more with the times. Yes.
Okay. So nobody gets superpowers. There's no.
The only thing that I think Tiffy and I would agree to change is, like, you know, they had all those little white girls in that school, maybe a couple little like mixed kids in there, you know what I'm saying, like Spanish, black, you know what I'm saying, just like, you know, integrate the little rich kids together.
Maybe if there was another way to tell that story, but the thing is, it's a white ass school in New York.
It is,
and there's a reason why Becky was so mistreated and being the only little black girl there.
I know.
So unless we can make it like one of those colorblind stories, like 1997 Cinderella, the race is important to the story.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, is the main character Becky?
No,
Becky is a little black girl. That's Sarah, little white girl.
Okay, that's okay, cool.
Sarah,
all right, well, I'm intrigued.
It's just an adorable, feel good movie.
It is.
Fuck Miss Minchin.
Watching with Kiki
Mari from Heidi with Noli Thornton, another white ass movie from the 90s.
Yo, okay, it's given like, you know, a better Little Orphan Annie type vibe.
It's like way better Little Orphan Annie. Like it you gotta check it out, Vince, and let us know what you think.
Okay, you think my daughters would like it? Yeah, I can bring that back.
It's just you know, let them know it's slow paced, because you know Kiki'd be like, I'm not watching this.
You know my child. You know, like
it's definitely like you're.
This is what we do when we suggest a project. Like in my house, like if we suggest a project and we all end up watching it, and one person's fault, everybody else is bored, we all turn to that person and just stare like,
just evilly, like, you made us do this shit.
This is what you got us doing, Ragnarok. Really, we're watching Ragnarok. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I love them. Let's keep going around the horn. Yes. Did you have anything that you would reboot, remake? Now remember, you're reviving the industry. So
okay, I think possibly I would reboot The Parent Trap and change the aspects of it. I would, you know what I'm saying, like, and I would do, you know, like, still twin girls, you know what I'm saying, but I would make them biracial, you know what I'm saying, and have like a, you know what I'm saying, like the like interracial parents, you know what I'm saying, like one has one child, one has the other, and the kids are biracial and they meet at camp, you know what I'm saying, like, so I think that would be an interesting, like, pretty cool dynamic, you know what I'm saying, and instead of them being like British, I think, you know, maybe like one of them can be from British, the other one would be like from like California, like Oakland or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So they like completely have to switch up and see each other's like different lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? Like just, you know, just how each other lives and integrate. I think that'd be interesting as fuck. I don't know.
Okay, so an updated version of The Parent Trap, freckle free this time.
I mean, they can have some freckles, but just like, you know, brown people freckles.
There you go. Sprinkle in the melanin is what we're saying. All right. Let's melanate The Parent Trap. I'm not mad at it. Okay. Nolly, did you have any contribution? And we'll keep this thing going, man. I like where this is going. What you got? I got a couple too.
I got a couple.
What's up, Nolly?
Okay, hear me out. The Princess Bride.
Oh, shit.
Wait. Hear me out. Hold up. Let me cook. with the Muppets?
I don't know, Manali.
But
That is my all-time
listen.
favorite classic movie, and I
Listen.
don't know if the Muppets could uphold the legacy that
The
movie.
Muppet movies be
Did you
hitting.
say with the Muppets?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Okay, all right. But who's gonna play? Who's gonna play? Oh God, oh God,
Why the Muppets?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want another Muppets movie, but also Princess Bride would be great. With
I don't know about the
more
Princess Bride though. It's such a
diversity.
classic, like Dublin. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would even play like the main characters? Like, who would be Buttercup?
First of all,
We could do a sequel.
I could totally see
I
but
don't know.
I hear what you're saying, Yaz. Keep in mind these are reboots, remakes, you know what I'm saying? And as much as
I don't know if I'm with Lisa on this one.
I would
No
also
she's Lisa says she's not co-signing.
I love you, Nelly. I'm not co-signing out either. That's a classic. That's not one of my favorites.
I would also fund a new Spaceballs movie because now we have so much
Spaceballs,
material.
yes.
We have so much more material now.
Yes.
The possibilities are endless.
And the cast would be even so way better too. Oh my God. Like, oh.
Okay. Here's the question. Spaceballs, remake or reboot? In other words, do we remake the original or do we continue the original?
No, we reboot it.
Reboot it? Okay. So like Spaceballs 2, The Son of Lone Star, Spaceballs 2, Return of Yogurt.
I don't know about these topics, as for the title, but we will figure that one out later. Maybe Spaceballs 2, the I don't know, the drowning of something. I don't know something.
Spaceballs 2, Bartholomew's Revenge.
What is Spaceballs?
Oh God. On my head. Oh, I guess I gotta experience this now, especially since I didn't know who the little princess was. So Spaceballs, for those unfamiliar, was a spoof on the original Star Wars movie written by Mel Brooks, all right, starring Rick Moranis, also starring a young Bill Pullman, who you may also know from the Independence Day movie, who played the president. We will not go quietly into the night. Starring a very, if it's okay to say, sassy princess who did not take it kindly when you shot her hair, particularly with ape shit. All right. And also starring the late, great John Candy as Bartholomew, who was not a Wookiee, but was a Mog, half man, half dog. He's his own best friend, of which they sent the people to look for the princess and the droids. They sent them to comb the desert.
With a pick. A literal pick. A literal hair pick. And all you see the black stormtroopers being like, we ain't found shit. And I was
we ain't found shit.
I was like, we need more of those. More of those.
Yo, Tiffy, we might have to legit do a watch party for real, because like these are like classics movies that we have
your facial expressions will be priceless.
Yeah, look, there's so many quotables. Tiffy, there's so many quotables in Spaceballs. All right, so you know how in the main movie Star Wars, there's this thing called the Force. Right? The Force is this bond that all living creatures have, all living beings that exist even in a spiritual realm, that with the right talent and training, you can even wield it if you're a Jedi or a Sith. In the Spaceballs, they split this and call this the Schwartz. the Schwartz. And instead of having lightsabers, they have like little light rings. And so like they get them out of Cracker Jack boxes. I can't describe the
you gotta watch it.
You
gotta watch it.
So good.
I would watch that in like a group setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so crazy. They spoof everything. Instead of Jabba the Hutt, they have Pizza the Hut. You know what I'm saying? He eats himself to death. He dies. He dies because he eats himself to death. It's just a bunch. Instead of Darth Vader, they have Darth Helmet, played by Rick Moranis, whose helmet is too big.
Like
Tiffy, at
literally
one point,
his body. It's huge.
I'm spoiling, but fuck it. This shit's 20-something, 30, 40, 50 years old. At one point in time, Tiffy, this shit's so fucking ridiculous that Darth Helmet wants to know what the next move should be to capture Lone Star. And they recommend, well, why don't we just watch the Spaceballs video cassette? He's like, what do you mean? Just watch it? So they go and take the video, Spaceballs, of the movie that they're actually in and start fast forwarding it. They're like, wait a minute. Oh, this happened earlier. And then they get to a point where they're like, wait, is this happening right now? he's like looking at the camera. He's like, and then they fast forward past that. That's how they figured out what's going to happen. You go to the, all right. Sorry.
Okay.
She unlocked that memory. Thank you, Naliv.
I was having on deep journey with you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
So weird.
I think Tiffany's bought it. This Shark Tank is working, yo. I'm feeling it. Okay, cool. All right, I've got another one for y'all, and then Tiffany, you go after me if you want. Okay, this one right here, I think would work so well. In fact, I think that low-key Marvel has already tried doing something like this, but they're doing it with a superhero. But I want to take it back to the basics, and I would like to see an updated version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But this time, instead of being at Mr. Slolinsky's house in a nice neighborhood somewhere in the hills, we're a little closer to South Central.
No, oh my God. Lord Jesus. Let's pluck it.
And we got to get from Piru Street back over to the Hoovers. Yes, I said it. That shit would pop. And that is something that I think that we want to see, yo. Nah, they got to be very careful. You got to move not only through the ants and the scorpions, but also through the different color shoelaces that you see. You got to make sure that you can look. One thing that they didn't do was weaponize themselves. As a small person, you can probably take somebody out if you mess around and do things the right way. Just sprinkle a little glass and a little bit of grits here and there. You know what I'm saying? And then go ahead and take out the ops. I want to see a violent version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Why do you crave violence so much?
Right?
I need.
Imagine getting stomped out by Jordans. Like, no.
All right.
I want them. I want Ice Cube. I mean, like, man, you know what I'm saying? In the movie somehow involved. I want Smokey. I want John Witherspoon's son. I want it. Make it happen. Come on, pull up. All right. I guess y'all ain't buying my reboot. Okay. All right. Well, I passed the baton.
I'm gonna watch it. So violent.
I like violence because I don't live it. I like to,
Because I don't live it.
It's my fantasy.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh so hard at that. My bad.
Tiffy, you got any more? Tiffy,
you're muted.
The Princess and the Frog.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Tiffy. I'm a little surprised because when I hear people talk nowadays, it's often with vitriol for the animated versions of Disney that turn Black people into animals. Are you one of these people who kind of like have that, like, I didn't really mess with, the Princess and the Frog and with what's the other one that they did recently with Jamie Foxx and So yeah, like, are you in that camp of like, they need to stop that, or is it really
I'm
matter?
in the camp of two things can be true at once. I can enjoy these movies while being critical of them and making the fair observation and agreeing with folks that they have a bad habit of taking people of color and not giving us screen time as humans. So, and that's not unique to Disney. That is a problem within the industry of animation. We see it like with different movies, Madagascar, for example. Like, there are a lot of people that are The Lion King. Yeah, it's just where movies centering us we're animals in them, and that's not cool.
Right.
I do feel that, like, especially if you take Disney, for example, I don't need Disney to care about me as a Black person. Disney
Okay.
cannot care about me. Disney is a company.
Corporation. Right.
You're right. It's a corporation. They don't care. So I don't need it to be from an authentic place of wanting to just love on Black people so much. You know, sign the check. Give us money to tell our story. You know,
I like it.
if we look at, like, I still want them to pay and produce and to bring in Black people and make the stories. But when people are like, they're pandering and this, that, and the other, I don't give a fuck. Make the thing, put the money behind it. I want Disney backed things, and I want our own studios as well. I want it all, basically. When we look at the first representations of Black folks in Disney movies, if we go as far back as Song of the South with Zippity Doo Dah, man, Uncle Ringo, right?
Yeah.
That is a very unfavorable view of Black people. If we look at Fantasia, where there's the scene of the centaurs, it's the Pastoral Symphony. And it's this beautiful scene of centaurettes. And it's one of my favorite scenes from, like, any Disney film. But as I grew older, I learned that Disney took the frame from being this wide and they chopped off, boom, one part of it. The part that they chopped off was a little donkey-bodied centaur named Sunflower. And she had the stereotypical, like, buckshot hair and big lips, dark skin, you know, light-colored lips. And she was running behind all of the beautiful statuesque centaurettes and combing their tails and getting their flowers. They literally just cut that out, and because it was extremely racist and reflective of the time. And my point in all of that is that, yeah, it sucks when we finally get movies from Disney and Tiana as a human only gets, what was it, 8 minutes, 18 minutes of on-screen time as a human. It sucks. But it's only going to get better if we continue to have the conversations. If we continue to be like, hey, Disney, thank you for the Black Princess. This is how we have to do that shit better next time, because we want a next time. Now we have a movie coming out with Princess Asha and she is a Black princess. We see Dolores in Encanto, where she is clearly Afro-Latina. Like, our sister York, like our beautiful alto queen, things like that. So I don't expect them to get it right. I expect it to improve each time they release a project, and that's what Disney has done, and I appreciate them for that. So, like, that's my take on it. I can enjoy these Disney films. I can enjoy seeing Princess Tiana and say, all right, now let's do better next time. Let's gather. What do we do right here, and what do we do wrong? Let's make it a compliment sandwich. You know, let's get, constructive with it. I'm happy they're getting more people in the room to ask for this sort of feedback. I'm happy that they're protecting people like Halle Berry. It was so long ago.
Halle Bailey.
I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Halle Bailey. It was long ago, but they released a statement through Freeform, because Disney owns Freeform, and it was so fucking sassy when people were talking bad about Halle Bailey when it was first announced that she was going to be Ariel. And it was like the social media team was like, okay, we can't do this from the main Disney account. It's a little too spicy. Do it from Freeform. Like I said, it doesn't have to be authentic from the company. Are they pandering this, that, and the other?
I hear you.
Whatever. I want to see these projects continue to be made. I want them to put their big old Disney billions behind people of color, and I want to see it get better each time. So
I love it.
Answer.
Well, first of all, damn. For those of y'all who didn't know, the more you know, goddamn it, I had heard stuff about the Fantasias, and I never knew exactly what it was, but I consider myself.
Hey, Tasha.
Hey, Tasha. Well, welcome back from down under, pimping. But we'll leave it there. It's good to see everybody else. What's up, Tommy? Everybody else in the comments. Lisa, of course, always good to see you pulling on up. Now, Tiffy, would you change anything about Princess and the Frog if you did reboot it?
I would give her more screen time as a human. The same thing that we just talked about. Yeah. Because I do love what they did with that movie. And I don't want us to get to the point where we're so critical of these films that we don't enjoy what they did give us, because it's not a complete loss. Even with Soul, we saw so much. Right. Yes, shame him publicly, Omar.
I didn't mean to do that. Oh shit! I didn't mean to take your attention away. Damn, Tiffany. I tried to sleep that in.
It needed to be said.
The festivity is at a height. Okay.
What was this about?
You were talking about. That's why I should have did that shit. We're talking about what you would do different for Princess and the Frog.
Oh yeah, I love how much of our culture they show. They have people in the room. They're learning the lessons to show just like how beautiful we are, how rich it is. Princess and the Frog has one of the most gorgeous color palettes and tones for a Disney movie. Like, I love it so much. Even just from the cover, the picture you're showing now is beautiful. I would lean so heavily into costuming. That's a Ruth Carter job right there. As much as I want Colleen Atwood, I think that she did the costuming for Cinderella, which was just like another gorgeous Disney live action film. Extremely aesthetic. Like, let's Tommy talking about the roof for the mac and cheese. Oh, because I went to Disneyland yesterday and because Tiana's restaurant just opened
Right.
at Disneyland, and it was the macaroni and cheese was a big old miss. The rule was off. So but yeah, like you can just there's not a single aspect of this story where you can't just get so rich into the storytelling. If it's in the costumes, the lighting, just the culture, give us more of those moments of Tiana's life. It's not the animated film. We can really tell the story. Make it a 2.5 hour movie where we see more of just her culture, why she works so hard, why the lessons from her father mean so much. Give her more time with her daddy before we kill him off. God damn it. Like, let's just see more of that. How her mother and her have had to adjust since her father was killed in the war, because that's the backstory. Let's see more of that. Let's get more of Lottie and Tiana's dynamic as children, because Lottie is the most decent white girl. And you know, and my friend Pernell pointed this out yesterday. Ray, the little firefly, realest Disney sidekick on the block. Only one to die for his princess. The only one to die for his princess. He fought niggas. That's incredible. That was a little bug. Flounder ran away. Miko, the little raccoon from Pocahontas, he was in the raccoon home eating his food. He was comfortable with the enemy. The fuck? Like these sidekicks, they weren't doing it like Ray. Little Cajun bug. That don't make no goddamn sense.
Yes.
Mushu
All
are
of
only
it.
ones down for the cause, swear.
She said she fought niggas.
Yes, a bug was like, "Don't make me light up my butt," and he went. He fought shadows.
Yo.
I was at D23 one year, and Jim Cummings, who is the voice of Ray, walked up behind me in my ear, and I didn't know it was him. I'm just standing there minding my black ass business, and he says the line. He was like, well, I forgot what the line is, but he was like, "I like a lady with a big back porch." He like said it in my ear, which was not creepy. At first it was creepy. Then I turned around and saw that it was him, and I saw that the tour guide that was with him was my friend and had told him to do it. He was like, "Yeah, say this to her." So like, it was just a very fun moment. But I'm like, who could say that they have been approached by the voice of Ray and Winnie the Pooh whispering in your ear at a Disney convention?
Yo, don't make me light up my butt. That's going on a t-shirt. Yes, get on it. Like we need. Put the New Blurred logo on that bitch. All
That
right.
was Ray the Firefly. What was the original question? I'm sorry, I was just talking.
You hit it on the head. It was, what would you change anything about?
Thank you, Tasha. Tasha sees me.
Would you change anything about it? So I think we've got it. I have one thing to say, Tiffy. I know the question was to you, but if I was proposed the question, which I wasn't, but if I was to change one thing about Princess and the Frog, it'd be one thing. I would give Mr. I think it's a Prince. Is it Naveen?
Yeah.
Naveen.
I would give Prince Naveen afro instead of the drew down little sweet flex we got. You know what I'm saying? He can stay the same complexion as Vari. I don't care. He can do all of that. but I might give them the Nazi, I might, make it a little more cultured. You know what I'm saying? I like hair when it's, natural, up to the sky, kind of like this hair right here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the kind of hair.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
what is
How
that?
nice of you to show up.
Who that? What's up, Omar? Oh, I didn't even see you walk in, homeboy. Oh, my bad.
Mm. Did you sleep well? You slept good?
It's tomorrow, bro.
You're feeling rested, Omar.
Apologies for being late. I was being that nigga last night. So it comes draining. It was performance of a lifetime. I knocked out afterwards, but I'm here now. Tasha was like, it's 11 o'clock. I was like, you mean in the future, nigga? You mean? Then I looked at my phone. It was on silent because of the show yesterday. I was like, fuck. The alarm didn't go
Tiffy,
off.
what do you say about that?
If you hate the blurred community, Omar, just say that. If you didn't want to be here to speak to people about blurry things, you could have just sent a message in the group chat. You didn't have
I can't say that.
Tiffy, hold on though. He's got a valid excuse. He was out last night, and
I was out at Disneyland last night. I walked 15,000 steps according to my app and my phone, wearing Croc platforms. You don't know, tired Omar. I got Galma garlic puff chips from the edge of the galaxy. And I still made it on time for the podcast. I have a full face of makeup on and crystals. My face buns are perfect. I took a shower.
I was thinking anyone that would appreciate me being late, it'd be you. But okay, we late shaming now. That's what we doing.
You and I are not the same, Omar. This is what we're doing.
Wow.
Okay.
That was, I ain't gonna lie, that was a clever clap. But I'm just happy to not be in Tiffy's crosshairs for once. Like, you
gotta take it. You
hear me in the back with the ad-libs, I'm like,
oh, you got the I'm like, this is what it feels like. Okay, this is nice. I like this. Wow, I can't believe.
No, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Omar.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about you pulling up late. I'm just happy you pulled up, bro. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We done missed you, man. Talk to us, man. How you been? You been doing your Carmen Sandiego shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to us, man. What's going on in the life, man?
Oh no, man. We were in Australia for a while to see my wife's family. It was really nice. I got an otter out of it. That was really nice. It's a stuffed otter. They tried to hide it from me. It was as a surprise, but then we were in the living room and there's like a little bed in the living room, and then I put my hand between the bed and the wall, and I just pulled up and I was like, what is this? And I pulled up like it was a stuffed otter. I was like, oh man, an otter. And one of her younger sisters was like, oh my God, you didn't see that. In my mind, I wasn't like, oh, this is a gift for me. I was just like, yo, the universe is so great that I love otters so much. It makes so much sense that I could just, put my hand down this crevice and oh wow, an otter! Like I didn't think it was for me. I was like,
oh great!
Yeah, because they have a bunch of the little cousins and things like that. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a toy they left behind or something like that. I'm like, to me, I was just like, oh, like look at the universe providing, the universe knowing who the fuck I am, it was not.
Hold the fuck up. Why would the universe gift you an otter?
Universe. It happens sometimes. Just not sometimes.
The way we're talking, the universe did gift him an otter by way of his wife's family.
Yeah. Listen,
the universe still gifted him an otter. At the end of the day.
But why an otter? Why
he loves otters.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
my bad.
Yeah.
I'm not in the Omar. All right. I wasn't.
fault.
I'm sorry. I missed that. I missed that reference.
And thank you, Tasha, for loving my Crocs.
Okay.
I look at the chat, Vince. I don't know why it's right there. It's right there.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you said something else. Croc Toad. I was
What do you
I
think
was like,
she
hold on,
said?
this is a family show, goddamn.
my
You know
God.
what I'm saying? What
she
is
said?
we don't, hold the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck y'all talking
That
about.
one flew over your head right there, dog.
She's
Nice.
look, Croc, all right, you know what? Over the heads. I tell you what, this is fascinating to me because for me personally, I've never been down under. So for you to find an otter as opposed to
We're
down Australia.
okay.
Okay.
There we go. I was like, no one's gonna. I'm like, no one's gonna. I'm like, what? Has
Okay,
my presence been felt so much of not being here that we're just gonna let that? We're gonna let that rock.
Well, if you must know,
Not
I was
you
down
coming
under this
back
morning. Nah, let me stop.
late after 5 years away at the war, making demands, Omar Holman. You be silent.
Mm.
It's a nice country to visit.
Now, lastly, I don't want to dwell too much on your personal life, Omar, but
Yeah.
I couldn't help but notice that did you happen to check out Disney in Australia? Did you go to like a theme park or?
We went to. I was like Disney in Australia.
Sorry, I didn't know.
No, you're right. We went to Movie World. It was like, to me, I think that was like their version of like Universal, but it was like Warner Brothers style. And so like they have like Bugs Bunny, Superman, and all that shit. So there's a bunch of rides like that. And my wife likes roller coasters. I'll go on a roller coaster. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it or not, but I'm like, I'll do it, like whatever. But like they have a thing called the Hyper Beast, and it's a Joker ride, and it's like I think it's the largest roller coaster in the Southern Hemisphere, and it spans it spans a good like 30% of the park too. Like you see that motherfucker when you're pulling up. And it's all purple and everything, and like the ride lasts only like maybe I think it's under 60 seconds, but it is a lot, and like it's one of those slow climbs. So like we're on it, and like all right, we're going up. I'm like, okay, we're higher than this ride now. We can stop. We're higher than that ride now. We can stop. I see the Green Lantern ride. I'm like, all right, this is a very tall. It's the tallest ride on this side. We're higher than that now. Yo, we can stop. I'm seeing our car in the park. I'm seeing our car in the parking lot. I'm like, this is like, dog, we can. And the entire time, everyone's like, oh, and I'm just like, and then it drops down, and everybody, and Tasha first of all, Tasha got like the Joker smile, so she's like, yeah, and she's like, oh, like happy. Me, I'm like, okay, and trying to make myself like force my eyes. Oh, I'm like, my eyes are open, but like trying to keep them open. And like, you're growing up, and then you're like, oh, like going down like that, and so like that's me on a roller coaster. I'm like, all right, I did that on that one, the Superman one, and then there's a kid one, right? That's like an Acme one from like a Wile E. Coyote and shit for like on the children's section. And Todd's like, oh, you can keep your glasses on for this one. This was fun. It's like, oh, I love this ride. So, and we're on that, and I'm like, it's still high. This bitch is still.
Come on, man, not the kiddie ride, man.
I'm like, this is for children, and this I'm like, this is it's a little, okay. So that we saw like Wonder Woman fight in the streets and some choreography. And I'm like, the choreography stuntman needs to be fired because these niggas ain't even touching each other. I'm disgusted.
Oh wow!
My favorite part, they had like Gotham, but they had like villains and everything taking over like Doomsday and shit like that. But they were like Gotham villains in Metropolis, and I'm like, this isn't historically accurate. None of this is historically accurate.
God damn it!
Yeah, they have.
Like, wait a minute.
They had Captain Cold crashing Ted Cord Industries, and I'm like, I don't think Ted Cord Industries is set up in Central City, but this is also Metropolis.
Yo, leave it to Omar to get off the ride and be like, yo, I have notes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because that was just walking around. Oh, the worst. I'll end it on this one. The worst one. That was the very first one we went on. It was like, that log ride where you go down the hill and like water splashes on you and shit like that. Todd's like, my wife's like, oh, I love this ride. And she's like, oh, we'll get in it. You won't get that wet. I'm like, if you think I'm stupid, just call me stupid, dog. I see the water. Just like water. Yeah, I see the fucking. It's looking like the splash emojis and shit, dog. I'm like, this ride about to bust on us, and you're trying to tell me, oh no, it's gonna be fine. I'm like, okay. And we get in there, and I'm like, all right. And it's just, it's like those log rides, right? Like it's water. You're just floating along and bumping on this shit. And so I thought it was just like you go up and then you go down, and we go up. I'm like, all right. And then it's dark, and then you get to a section, and then like the log goes in, and then it turns, and so you're facing this way, and it looks like you're facing the door. And then there's some like fucking Cotton Eye Joe nigga Cotton Eye Joe non-nigga being like, all right, partner, oh, it's a gold rush, yeehaw. And I'm like, what is this guy? And then the ride goes backwards. It was such a betrayal. I was not ready. That's the only ride. That's the only one I screamed on. I wasn't expecting it. And I'm looking like bitchy Macbeth in the fucking front of some 6-year-old behind me, like, compose yourself.
Bitchy Macbeth.
And I'm going, we go in reverse, and I'm like, ah! and then it stops, and I'm like, no, why would they do that? That's not what we would agreed upon. And then we go up, we go down the big one. We were in front. We go up the big one, then we go down, and just parkland bust all over us, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna get wet. It was like that manageable wet, but I'm like, this is still like, I'm like, all right, it's fine. All right, it's like, I feel like I'm off of Bang Bros right now.
Was anyone wearing jeans?
As in I was wearing jeans.
Oh,
isn't that the worst, going on a water ride and having
like,
now you gotta wear it.
Now I'm walking like an anime character afterwards, like,
yeah. Oh, yo, yeah. I normally don't do this, and I wouldn't outside of this particular instance.
Uh-huh.
But if by chance Tasha is camera ready and would like to provide any witness, we would definitely open the floor for that, but no pressure. We know
Tasha, they tell you to put pants on and get up.
No, but what Tasha put in the chat, Omar should have been lucky. I don't usually provide manageable wet.
Oh, shit. Yo. What? We learned a lot about the Omar Holman household today. Yo, Tasha, don't feel pressure. Don't pull up if you don't want to. But if by chance you happen to feel like giving some third-party testimony, I got a feeling Omar may not be telling the whole truth when he say that's the only ride he screamed on.
Listen, I was a pole vaulter, right? My best height was 11.6. I am okay with heights to a certain degree. I will let you know I'll let you know my cool moments, and I let you know my bitch moments. That was dog. That, like, the Joker ride, I'm like, all right, I was manageable. That felt worse to me because there's children here, and when I see little 6 and 8 year olds, like, compose yourself. Like, oh, look at this guy. I know this adult's life isn't in order. Look at him screaming on a backwards ride, like, oh, and it was like, disgraceful. I'm like, I thought y'all were supposed to be tough. Like, Americans, not black people. Americans.
I cannot. All right, last question. So sounds like you kind of answered it, but the next question I was going to ask you was, did you have some sort of fear of heights? But it sounds like you don't really have a genuine fear of heights. It's just
to a degree. It's I don't know why. I will put my life in danger, but it's to a degree. Like, we went to one of our sisters owns a big high-rise building. And so we went up 25 floors and 25 stories. We went up, and they're all walking around the roof like, oh yeah, oh wow, and it's at night, and we had to climb up that motherfucker too. There was a section you go up to the roof and then climb up this shit like fucking Selena Kyle Catwoman. And they're all walking around the roof like, oh wow, oh my god, look at the view. And I'm like, okay, I'm holding the edge and shit, and I'm like, my body is just like, Nick, fear. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I just like feel it like rushing in me. I'm like, it's like you're just walking. You're like, I'm like, this is too high. And it's just to a degree. Like, when you're free, I'd rather be, if I'm strapped into something, it's better. But if I'm all free balling it and shit like that, I'm like, this is, it feels weird. I'm like,
we all like to be strapped. Preferably.
We all do. As we should be.
All right. I'm not doing it, Nolly. I see what. No, I'm not going there. Okay. All right. Fair enough, man.
Why am I in it?
No, you get. No, you not. No. We're gonna let it. We're gonna let it ride. We're gonna let it ride. But it is interesting though because it sounds like kind of like Six Flags a little
Yeah.
bit. You know what I'm saying? The spot was. Tiffy, are you a roller coaster person? Yes, roller coaster person, Tiffy.
Okay.
I like roller coasters. I went on a roller coaster yesterday, and then at some point, I was just like, "Why would I go on roller coasters after doing that show where the people die on the
Died on the
roller
roller coaster.
Yo,
Literally, I'm just like, like anything can happen.
that's crazy. What up, Yaz?
I gotta bow out.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yes, the librarian's gonna check out. We'll see you a little later, but thanks for pulling up. And yes, make sure y'all go follow Yaz on Yaz the model at Instagram. Please do that. All right, pull up a little later, Yaz. We were just talking about something else real quick. Omar, I'll go ahead and put you in the background, Yaz. We actually had stumbled onto a subject that maybe you had some appreciation for. But first of all, welcome back. I'm tempted to because I got a glimpse at your story and I saw you spitting hot fire on stage last night. And for that, I like that's why I'm like, yo, the ball put his life on the stage last night.
It was wild.
Right back up. It's like I saw the sweat. It was like a long distance shot, and I was like, yo, the boy sweat. He's cooking. Let the man cook. I'm tempted to ask you what you recited, but let's move forward right now. What we were talking about was a hypothetical situation of which we have moved forward. It's 2025. We've already gone around the horn a couple times, so you're a little behind the eight ball on this one. I'm gonna give you my answer for this. But in 2025, the strike has been settled. All right.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, it took a couple years, but we finally got it. But it hinges on the New Blurred Order, Black Nerd Problems, House of Star Child Alliance, of which Hollywood has granted us with the green light for the first movie projects following the strike.
Okay.
It all hinges on us. But there is a caveat.
Okay.
They cannot be original movies. They have to be either remakes or reboots.
Okay.
So with that being said, Omar Holman, what would you remake or reboot if you were given the green light? And remember, the industry depends on you. Now, just before you answer, and I'll give you some time to think because I know that's a lot. We've already listed that I would like to see remade Flight of the Navigator, which nobody heard of course. Tiffy has listed Fern Gully as well as a Little Princess. All right. And Nolly listed I believe it was Spaceballs. All right. And she said another one, I think.
We're not gonna talk about it because no one wanted it.
We did not want her Princess Bride with Muppets.
Oh yeah,
Princess Bride.
Thank you. It's a vision, okay? It's an acquired taste, but I substitute my Princess Bride with The Professional.
Don't let them shame you out of it. Don't let them shame you out of it.
Fuck that, Nolly. Be your authentic self. Fuck that bullshit.
Professional is a great movie though. That is a hard movie. That's a beautiful movie.
Are we talking I'm thinking The Professional is not The Specialist. Okay. I listed Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which I would make into a Black Hood version. Kind of like a Mike Epps, type of, what I'm saying, Friday meets Ant-Man type of spoof film. But I would and Yaz did mention Freaky Friday or excuse me, Parent Trap. But I would like to also add to this docket. I'm sorry, and Tiffy listed Princess Frog too. Princess Frog.
Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog. Sorry. But I would like to add to this something that I wish was made and is always being thrown out there, but never really sees the light of day. And that is the potential for a live action Thundercats movie. Now, hear me out. I don't want it to just be Thundercats. I want a world build. I want to meet Lionel. I want to learn about Lionel, Mumra. I want to learn about everybody. And I want the sequels to encompass being able to meet Chitara, being able to meet the rest of them. I don't want it to just be pull up, oh, it's Mighty Morphin Power Ranger time. I want the world built.
Gotcha.
So that's where I am. And I have a couple more. Do you have anything that you, off the top of your head, may think to reboot or remake if we get that green light?
I think there's certain movies that we're given a certain time frame, like, oh, we could reboot this now, like these. And it's so funny, like I always think about this, and like I'm like, oh shit, why am I drawing a blank? There's one old movie. It was not good at all, but the concept was really good. It was called The Six String Samurai, and it was basically like it was like the spirit of rock and roll going on this journey, and picks up this kid. And he was just walking with the fucking guitar on his back, like he's a samurai, like that, walking through, like, I guess the desert of America and whatnot. And all the while, I guess he's supposed to be like the spirit of rock and roll, but all the while, like, alternative music is like it's death hunting him. And so I'm like, this movie is bad, but the concept goes so fucking hard. And my man was just, and it's like martial arts and shit like that. So he's like fighting these different versions of music and things like that. I'm like, I'm like, horrible movie, but the concept is so fucking good. So Six String Samurai would be something I would have redone, and maybe these more are gonna come to me later. But also, I think Hancock would have been a good one too.
Shit.
Because like the problem with Hancock was they didn't really know where to. Again, the concept was great, but the execution sucked to a degree because of it was all right to a certain degree where it's like, all right, well, what are these motherfuckers? Oh yeah, there it is. And I was like, are these motherfuckers, are they angels? Are they, what are they? They never, there's things left so vague. So I think Hancock would be another one to do. And also, like, a superhero that's like, yo, fuck all this shit, man. Like that's brilliant. If I think in animation wise, I think, oh man, a big one I always wanted, the Scott Pilgrim movie. I wanted it to be like the books were, like to be just like word for, like, I'm saying page for page, bar for bar, like the books were, but like the anime's coming, which has the original cast, and I'm like, well, is that going to be like the book was? Is that going to follow the book line? Is it going to be broken up into 6 parts? I don't think so. And also, like, when that first got announced, I was hoping that originally Brian Lee O'Malley had them as people of color. They were all, I think their majority were Asian and whatnot. And then he was like, oh, well, it got whitewashed because it would sell better that way, which is a mistake he regrets to this day. So I wondered, I'm like, oh man, I was wondering, like, oh fuck, are they going to be people of color? They are not. I'm like, all right, they still white, still very, very white.
How does that happen? Like, what the fuck like from the origin to the movie? Like, who the fuck is it that has to go in and like just relinquish the melanin from these fucking stories? Why does this shit keep happening?
I mean, I don't want to blame. It's either either an agent or like manager, like, hey man, let me tell you what's gonna sell, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little too much this in there. We can make it a little bit more of this. And we can just, and then like the suck part is like, oh wow, look how it's right. But also, like, that was at a certain, I mean, I'm gonna say a certain time, but like that's before like certain like all Crazy Rich Asians or Black Panther and things like that, where it's like, oh, this is the way we go about things. Like, this is, hey, you want to sell? Them niggas out of here. Get them niggas and nigga adjacents out of here. So,
okay. So I love it. Let's keep going around the horn. But before we do, and I toss it back to Nolly to see if you have any more, I want to just real quick highlight some of some of what we saw in the comments, and just to answer many. No, we're not doing porns here, bro. All right, that's not this kind of show. So no, Debbie Does Dallas, none of that other crazy stuff. We're trying to keep it within the realm of what you could talk to your mama about. All right, or not your mama, my mama, the minister. I saw on here somebody said The Lost Boys. I thought that was a pretty cool pick. I like that pick. I would like to see them, modernize it. So I'm okay with that, but definitely want to keep for Sutherland's death. Goonies, holy fuck. How long we been waiting for like a Goonies reboot? Now, I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm a little nervous about remaking it, but I think a continuation of it, maybe, that embodies the spirit of Goonies, but speaks more to it being a continuation, a sequel, as opposed to like trying to do the same magic from the original. Well, I was a big Goonies fan. I'm the only one, just me, only
No, I
Goonies.
love Goonies.
Goonies. Oh, come on now, Booby Trap. Are y'all serious? Y'all don't know Booby Trap?
I said
All
I
right.
love Goonies.
Okay.
I mean, Laquan, what's the old boy from Everywhere, Everything, all at Once? Like that's his.
Yeah.
That and Indiana Jones, like those are his debut movies. Okay, so I saw those. Soul Plane. I think Soul Plane can stay where it was. I don't know if there's any rebooting. If anything, they could make Soul Plane into a series, but I can take it or leave it.
No, sir.
Not Steph, who was here with us earlier, did mention Meteor Man, and I think that
Oh,
would be.
very
And I
good.
wouldn't mind seeing. Tommy here says that it could be a mini series. I would take issue with it being on CW though.
Yeah,
I'd rather
same.
see. I don't need to see that same exact Flash model recirculated, man. I mean, no disrespect to Grant Gustin, but Debbie does Crenshaw. 13 Ghosts. Okay, SLC Punk Clockwork. You know what? I have another. All right, but this might be definitely showing my age. So I was a big fan of after school special cartoons, and I already mentioned Thundercats. But does anybody here remember a show called Silverhawks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, the Silverhawks was a whole thing, and I feel like it's possible with today's CGI to like kind of like how they did the Archangel in I know the movie was terrible. I know X-Men 3 The Last Stand wasn't the best X-Men movie. In fact, quite next to Apocalypse probably was the worst. But the way they did Archangel, I thought add some justice to it, and I would be interested in seeing a mechanical version of an updated version of some of the Silverhawks and stuff like that. Man, I thought that was a pretty decent thing. But especially since nobody's been talking about it and stuff like that. So I'm open to that, man. Now, did you have any more? We can start wrapping up here pretty soon, but I thought that that was fascinating.
I want a live action Anastasia. Don't change none of the fucking songs. They are great as they are. You leave them songs alone. Maybe add one original, I guess. Maybe if you have to. No Lin-Manuel Miranda. He can't sing. He can only write.
Damn.
Whoa.
Okay. That's it. That's what I got. Oh, an Alien. The original Alien. But with Sigourney Weaver as a cameo. She needs to be in there.
Okay. I could dig it. The original wow. Okay. All right. The aliens. Wow. Okay.
I need more niggas in space, but not dying first.
Okay.
I need them to be the smart ones.
I need them to be the smart ones.
You don't think the aliens are the smart? They're smart enough to lay eggs in. All right. You know what? Let me leave that alone, man. It's a whole thing. What about some of the shows we used? What about some of the all right. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to bring this one up. I got one more, and then I'd like to get into a post that Tiffy gifted us with before. And this is the last one that I'll say. But I would be amiss, and I would betray my childhood if I didn't bring up a potential to reboot the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I need that movie, Frankie. Like, I want to see Atreyu. I want Artex to have a fighting chance. I want to see what modern day CGI would do to the Rock Man who rolled in and picked up his little buddies and took them on to the Emperor. Like, I want this shit, bro. I want Bastion. Y'all are familiar with Never-Ending Story? Omar, Tiffy?
I've known it from like growing up and stuff. I tried rewatching it a few years ago, and I was talking to our friend Will at the time, and I was like, "I'm sorry, nigga, this ain't it." And he was like, "Omar," he's like, I don't want to hear it." He's like, "It's a story niggas hold to their heart," and I'm like, what is I'm like, what is this, claymation? What the fuck's going on? I'm like, dog, this is acid. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, dog? That's what I want to know. I'm like, this is what y'all niggas was rocking with in the 70s. No wonder y'all niggas is so wild right now.
Was that is that from the 70s?
I don't know when the fuck it's from. I ain't gonna. I'm like, the 80s was looking like this. goddamn. I'm like,
well, yeah. I mean, listen.
I get it. I'm like, I'll leave it. People's nostalgia. I'm like, I'm gonna tip. I was like, this is a wild journey we're going on here. Okay.
You agree with them, Tiffy?
No, I was looking at you. I was watching your expressions because you put up your fisticuffs. You went like this.
Yeah. Don't fuck with the 80s, home. We didn't have all this.
I know. I get it.
Technology bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. What say you, Tiffy? Are you team reboot or like holy shit, where this movie came from? Like who was on acid and made this shit?
I remember Never Ending Story from my childhood. Super acid trippy type movie. And I think a reboot could be cool of that because I think like just the way we can make fantasy movies so great, but we can also make them really terrible if we're not careful. So I just think like that's such a fine line to walk. Let's give it a try. Sure, why not? So
oh my god, Nolly, what say you?
I'd be down to see it. I feel like we could do it better now. It is a little trippy trying to watch it back.
Okay, all right.
I've only watched it extremely inebriated recently, so it's a lot.
That's the only way to watch things. All right, we're gonna start wrapping up here real quick, and I want to hear Tiffy's take on a post that she made. But I have to recap Never Ending Story to give you the highlights real quick because Omar just made it sound like it was basically it was like. You know, lamb chops. You know, like he made it sound like like a failed puppet show. And yes, it was. It was a Jim Henson production. But let me say, we're talking about a movie in which a boy is so fucking smart that he skipped school to read novels. Okay, this motherfucker skipped school and stayed at school. Who the fuck does that, bro? And you know what I'm saying? He stayed there to read a book. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get to Fantasia, you're thinking that the enemy is going to be, or the villain is this wolf named Delark, right? Freaked me the fuck out as a kid. You see those eyes come out of that cave and you're like, holy shit. And Atreyu has to battle it. But no. That's not the real villain. The real villain is the nothing, which is boundless infinite nothingness that is coming because people have lost faith in their dreams and are no longer listening to the fantasies. And now there's a big void of nothing coming for everything that you loved as a child. And that's what you have to battle. The nothing. You're a fucking 10-year-old child riding around a fucking wolf fucking Falcor luck dragon, and you have to beat the never-ending void that is the nothing, bro. How the fuck? And what happens? You don't beat it by fighting it. You wish on a fucking grain of sand. One grain of sand. Bastion, please give me a name. Just give me a name, Bastion. You've already selected the name. Give me a fucking break. This was a movie for adults starring children. I'm sorry. The metaphors are completely outside the range of a small child's age to comprehend what it means to skip school and stay at school and read books about having to deal with the never-ending void of nothing coming to take over your world. Get the fuck out of here, man. That shit would sell. All right. Can I borrow your fan, Tiffy?
I'm like, y'all know the nothing won because they took Toys R Us away. So
dream with just one line. All right. Damn. All right. Well, anyway, I thought that those are some good selections, man. Thank you all for your contribution on that. But there's definitely much more to discuss, man. One of the last things we'll kind of touch on real quick is the fact that not too long ago, since Omar did have an opportunity to go down to Diet Six Flags or WB Movie World or whatever it was that he was at.
Movie World, yes.
So now I'm assuming down there he saw characters like Batman and
Yeah, fuck that guy.
and he had a Green Lantern ride,
He's
and
cool.
there's probably hella
Vince,
Superman.
get the point. We don't need the long segue. Play the Harley Quinn video.
Damn it, man! But my segues is like my favorite. Okay, all right. Well, here's Tiffy saying what she was gonna say.
Please put some respect on my client's name. That is Dr. Harleen Quinzel. And I'd like to remind you that my client was merely doing her job. A profession with the purpose of rehabilitating the citizens of Gotham that have lost their way. Unlike that thug Batman, who likes to use the city's most disenfranchised and vulnerable as his personal punching bags. But that man is clearly a sadist. Like, please leave that and your leather kink at home. Harley Quinn had no experience with a life of crime prior to meeting the Joker. The sad reality is that brilliant, talented women fall for manipulative men every day. Do you know how hard it is to get out of an abusive and toxic relationship like that? I applaud my client. I celebrate her. This is actually a story of triumph. It's beautiful. Yes, she continued her life of crime post-Joker. But heartbreak is a very particular pain, and we transmute it the best we can. Beyonce created Lemonade. Harley chose to be a felon. What's important is that we allow space for healing. Whereas she could have succumbed to crushing sadness. Instead, she aspired to build a legacy of her own. Established her own unhinged reputation. Sidekick who? All my client wants at this point is a semi-peaceful life with a pretty girl that collects way too many plants. They can do cute girl things as they support each other while they work towards their individual goals. Is that not the dream? Ladies, let this be a lesson. You cannot fix him. Thank you. We will be taking no further questions.
It's the camera shots for me. Excuse me. So are we first of all, R.I.P. Arlene Sorkin, who I remember from when they tried to do America's Funniest Part 2. Definitely very talented with regard to her voiceover actions. But yeah, man, I wonder if we should attribute Tiffy, Arlene Sorkin's voice to some of the allure behind Harley Quinn. Because I mean, without her animated series character, maybe we don't get her in a live action. What do you think?
Oh, we wouldn't have it all, because Harley Quinn was not a character that came and if anyone knows differently, she's not someone that I know a lot of on, like Disney stuff. So if I say something wrong, check me, please.
No, you're right.
But the way the
You're
story goes is that she was not a comic book character. It was meant to be like a quick little henchman of the Joker's, making a quick little appearance in the episode, and was based off of Arlene Sorkin. She had like a Harley Quinn type character because one of the animators or someone knew her and brought her in for that role. And then it was just so well received that she became a regular in the series. And that's how we've known that is the creation of Harley Quinn. Yep. So without Arlene Sorkin giving her this iconic performance, we would not have Harley Quinn in video games or in comic books or in movies or anything. It's literally because of this woman.
That's crazy. Somebody described it to me as like it's almost as if Batman's belt became more popular than Batman. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily jive that, but it's like you didn't intend for it to happen, but it happens, right? And I'm wondering, like, what was it that was so iconic? Was it the Mr. J and how she like talks like this, and she kind of has that little swag, Mr. J? Is it
put in and like all of that like type thing? I don't know what it was. The appeal of it, like this cute clown girl with her pigtails, and she was so chipper, like she's so evil, and she's clearly caught up in the Joker's evil antics, but she's so like boppy and cheerful. So I don't know what it was about Harley Quinn that spoke to people, but I'm happy that it did. I remember being a kid and watching Batman the animated series. I liked the women characters. So I liked when we got Poison Ivy episodes and we got Harley episodes. I liked when Ivy and Harley eventually like teamed up and did different things. So as a young girl, I enjoyed seeing Harley. Didn't realize anything about the impact or had no thoughts behind. I like this character, so
Yeah, I mean, it was just a fun character, Omar. I mean, you sometimes a character just hits. Like you gave us the term long-term booking. This embodies long-term booking, does it not?
Yeah. I mean, this one, it's like that's, man, comic books and comic books and wrestling mirror each other so well. Whereas once you're writing something and the audience responds, so wait, no, we want that person back. That's who we're fucking with. They're like, wait, but you're supposed to be fucking with. Fuck that. We want that. And that happens so much in wrestling, man. It happens in comics as well too. So it's always fun. It's like an inorganic thing too. And it's like, all right, well, if you and good on them for like listening. Like, all right, well, the reception's strong, so we got to give the people what they want. And because yeah, she debuted in '92. She was in the Batman, the TV show's comic book in '93, and then she made her official debut in DC Universe in 1999.
Nolly, you a fan?
I'm a fan of just her. That's it. We don't do Batman in this house, okay? We don't do white privilege.
I respect it.
Yeah, I love how Tiffy was like, unlike that thug Batman. I can't. Yeah, I can't unsee. Somebody did a skit like a few years back. It was like Batman finds you, smoking an eighth like in a back alley.
Yeah.
Murder me. He's like, beat the shit out of it. He's like,
I love that trend.
Batman the type to beat you up over a little dime bag, but have a whole farm growing, supporting his business.
Right. Yeah, literally.
Wayne Corporation.
Wayne Enterprises. Yeah. I'll ask you this last question, Tiffy. Do you think that despite the fact, I know this is more about the animated series, but Harley Quinn that we know, Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie, is she living the legacy? Are we doing it justice? Are you pleased with how they represented it based on where it started with your childhood and whatnot with Margot?
Not knowing too much about the character, I think when they rebooted like the DC 52 back in like 2013, 2012, whenever that was, I think that Harley got a title and I was reading it for a bit. Outside of that, or whenever she had her own series, like I'm not familiar with her from the comics. So again, I'm speaking from the best of what I know. But I feel that they've done great by Harley's legacy, especially because they've let her really, really evolve. They don't tell the same Harley stories. And especially with Margot Robbie's Harley, I love it. I love that she had this incredibly toxic relationship, the situation where she was heavily manipulated. We see her break away from him and we see her rebuild her life. For a character whose literal identity was wrapped up and created from this man who was so terrible for her. Like he did the worst type of abuse and she just loved him regardless. To see her grow as a person to where she gets out of that situation and really frees herself. Yeah, she's a villain, but I really be identifying one with the mentally ill, but also those that get away from toxic relationships. So I love that they've done that for Harley as a character. They've allowed her to grow. True. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is like one of my favorites. I've done the Suicide Squad cosplay. I've done the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, like the plastic jacket with the tassels on it. I've done that cosplay.
Yeah.
I love dressing up as her and just like, she's one of my favorites. So I think they've done a great job by letting her character evolve and stay true to the roots. She's still very unhinged, but she's multidimensional and I love that for her.
You agree, Omar?
Yeah.
All right, keep it simple. I'll say this: I have one critique of the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn, and that is that I wish that they would get a little more cerebral with her. Like they make her the animated character, but I would like to see every now and then to peer back into Dr. Dr. Quinn, Dr. Harley Quinzel, goddammit.
Yeah.
Where before she was tainted by the love of the Joker and she was, kind of for that forbidden boo, when she was, as you described in that video, this well-educated intellectual being who was doing a psychological job of diagnosing these miscreants in this asylum. She's not some run-of-the-muck bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a motherfucker with some goddamn money behind the schooling that she took. And every now and then, I feel like the on-screen version is caricatured to just be the crazy psycho and doesn't give us enough of the intellectual. I would like to see a little more intellectual. That's the only critique I have. Other than that, I think that it's doing well by me. You know what I'm saying? But I think
Yeah, I think that they gave us some of that in the Emancipation, like Birds of Prey, especially when she's
Birds of Prey a little bit.
a lot. She had intellectual. First, the line, "I have a PhD, motherfucker," when he calls her a dumb bitch. She's like, "I have a PhD, motherfucker." Like, and I love that because she gets to be multidimensional as a character and as a woman. She's smart as fuck. She ain't gotta act. She's not exempt from making mistakes. She's not
True.
exempt from being manipulated and taken advantage of, and she realizes that. And when she needs to turn it on, she can. And she reads Roman Sionis. Is that Ronan Sionis?
Yeah. Yes.
Reads him for filth. And it's one of the reasons that he gets so pissed off at her, because she constantly. Birds of Prey gives you. Did you watch Birds of Prey?
I did, honestly, and I have to rewatch it because I missed these moments
that you just asked for. She constantly reads people. Every villain she comes across, she's like, "Hey, this is why this person hates me. This is what their problem is." Like, maybe they can dial it up and give us more of that of her. But I also feel Birds of Prey was a very woman-led film, down to her being able to say, "I do not wish to wear sexual costumes as Harley Quinn." There was a lot, like, especially the when she's in the facility where like the sprinkler system is going off and she's fighting in a wet t-shirt, but that fight scene is very non-sexualized, as opposed to Suicide Squad with the little it's a cute outfit, the little red and blue one, but they're giving us booty shots. She's in needle thin stilettos. What the fuck? They put her in flatter shoes for this, and she's getting ugly in this fight, which makes sense. She's not there to be cute. She's trying to fucking survive because these niggas is trying to kill her. So like, and then she was fucking berserker mode when she realized she got a whole bunch of cocaine behind her. She lets that shit fly specifically so she can get that rush. So I think in other projects with Harley Quinn, we don't get that multi-dimensional, multifaceted side of her, because those are men telling her story. And why would they show us an intelligent woman? But when we get Harley Quinn with the stories told by women, it feels like we're getting to see more of what makes her, besides a very beautiful face and big old titties. So unless I'm incorrect about like women leading her projects aside from Birds of Prey, but that could be why that's happening
for the live action. For the animated, they've shown a lot of what you're talking about for the what's it called, the cross between. It just doesn't look the same. In the live action, she keeps the vernacular. She keeps her vernacular in the live action, but she's still reading someone with the PhD and whatnot. Whereas in the TV show, the animated show, we see that representation of her old self with the lab coat and the glasses and everything like that. But then to Tiffany's point, it's like you don't have to. She doesn't have to look like that to speak the truth that she is speaking that way, like what she did in the live action. So it's
great.
That's the separation.
Well, yo, you've given me a lot to think about. I have to rewatch Blurs of Prey.
Blurs of Prey. Blurs of Prey.
Such a good parody and skit idea. Write it down.
That's it.
Blurs of Prey.
That's really good.
Trademark bitches. If I see a Blurs of Prey goddamn party somewhere in Prince George County, I'm coming for your pussy ass. County. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, we have to definitely talk on that, man. So I have to rewatch that. But definitely big up to R.I.P. Rest in power to Miss what's her name again? Damn, I feel terrible. Arlene Sorkin, I'm sorry. The THC is just out kicking in anyway. But yeah, you did that and you gave us an on-screen version because of your voiced over character in the animated version. Well, that's what I'll do it for A-Side today. Real quick, just an announcement. Next week, tune in as we will be live with none other than Miss Isis King from America's Top Model. Some of you all may remember her. But other than remember her, she's also doing a lot of dope stuff nowadays as well. So check it out. But for everybody out there, please make sure you are being your authentic selves. Because if you ain't being yourself, you're being fake, and ain't nothing honorable about that with your pussy ass. I don't know where that came from. There's a lot of pent up energy going on here.
Aggressively.
We will discuss.
I'm sorry, I don't know. It's just a lot of energy. You just need to get out. It's the nothing. All right, I'm sorry. We ain't found shit. But in all things, like we say, as you be your authentic self, if you legit a geek, shout out to my dog Marvin, seeing you pulled up. If you a real geek, then make sure you go ahead and let that good geek flag fly.
I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.